Welcome, everybody, to another edition of The Table Spot. My name is Metal Mike, and I'm joined here, as always, with the man with the best beer in the business. He is the host of The Boom over on The Boom, PW Pod, every Wednesday night after AEW Dynamite. My co-host here every Monday night, Mr. Cam G. Cam, how you doing on this wonderful Monday night?
Bored, bro. Man, I was like, I'm still waiting for Raw to start, it seems like. Other than that, bro, I'm all right. It was a busy Monday, has running around to do. Busy weekend in general. It's coming off the heels of SummerSlam, which was pretty good for night two at least.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very well. I'm really looking forward to Friday Night SmackDown. I think Friday Night SmackDown should be a lot better than what we got tonight. It really has no choice but to be, right. I mean, you can't have a bad show when you just got a major shot in the arm with the return of Kevin Owens, which I didn't see coming. Other than that, man, like I said, I'm ready to talk some Monday Night Raw, and yeah, I'm here for it, man.
Well, before we get into Monday Night Raw, let's quick run down the weekend. Let's quick do that, okay? Saturday night, we got no new champions. We had the two a 6-man and a 6-woman tag team match. I didn't want to call it two 6-man tags. It's 6-man, 6-woman tag team matches. One thing that I talked about last week during predictions happened about the Bellas turning on Paige. Number one, I'm going to say this right now. They need to just quit with the Bellas. Stop.
Yeah, it's damaged goods.
Be done with it. I get it. You want to run the nostalgia act and bring back some acts for that nostalgia feel. Give them another shot. They want to run a little bit, whatever. But they tried to turn heel, and Nikki got hurt. You win the tag belts, then you go and lose the tag belts. You go into this weekend, you turn on Paige, and now Brie is hurt. Give it up. Yeah. Give it up.
Either Paige is the one cursing them individually in that group, or this is a sign you just need to give it up.
I think they just need to give it up.
So, we got the. I did hear about the verdict, I guess you could say, on Brie and what she has. She has a broken scapulus. I think I'm saying that right in her shoulder.
Oh, that's like 4 months.
So she will be the minimum, I think, is like 6 to 10 weeks, but given that she's a professional wrestler, she'll probably be going a lot longer than that. So
yeah,
the feud's probably going to consist of Nikki and Paige. So yeah.
Ugh. I mean, Io and Liv, they started off hot on Saturday night.
Oh, it was fantastic. That was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I got to give them their flowers a little bit. It's like they set a bar on Saturday night that just did not get kept.
Yeah, I think so.
They started off hot, and then, I mean, Nick Aldis and Gunther was good for what it was.
Yeah, it was okay.
Good for what it was. Nick Aldis getting back his job as the SmackDown general manager, which is cool, I guess. You know. And then Cody and Punk, not too bad of a match. We got the return of the Viper Randy Orton. Haven't seen him since WrestleMania. So real quick on Cody not winning back the WWE Championship. CM Punk is the champion. Pretty much the big thing is, are we going to see Cody away from the WWE Championship and see him actually in a storyline that doesn't revolve around the championship for a while with him and Orton?
Yeah, you might not like this, but again, I think it's more cleanup work with Randy Orton.
Okay.
Their match for the WWE Championship was muddied up by the involvement of celebrities.
Agreed.
Which we did not need. It would have been a lot better feud. It would have been a lot better match had we not had the just been bombarded with Jelly Roll and Pat McAfee that was in that. So they weren't needed. And I think that got ruined. So I think they're running this back with solely just them. And again, given the history with them, still with this whole, mentor and student dynamic that they still have, it doesn't need a championship. I think it'll be a good feud outside of that. And I think this is a great spot. Not even just a good spot. I think to start with Cody Rhodes, like I said, give me a couple of months. At least give me to the end of the year with Cody outside of the WWE title. He doesn't need it right now. He'll be fine. He's not losing any steam. He's not losing any popularity. He's really not losing anything. The one time he really needed that championship, the one time he really needed to climb that mountain, the one time that everyone was solely behind Cody Rhodes. We want Cody instead of The Rock, was when he climbed the mountain to beat Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Any other time besides that, it was like they wanted him to be champion solely because they want to position him as the face of the company, which they've already done. They've already established that. And he doesn't need the WWE Championship to say he's the face of the company, because he is. He's gonna get a massive ovation on SmackDown when he comes out. He's gonna address Randy Orton, and we're off to the races with him and Randy Orton. So I think this is more work with Randy Orton. They're doing this again, and hopefully, like I said, they keep it solely just Randy and Cody without celebrities being involved in this. So I don't mind it. If I may speak on Nick Aldis as well,
go for it.
The match I felt like was okay for what it was. Him going back into a managerial role, it's hard for me to see him in that role now, knowing the shape that he's still in, and B, knowing the in-ring ability and the possibilities that they could have with him on SmackDown, making SmackDown more interesting and having him a part of the active roster. So making him a general manager again, it's like, okay, now to me this role just doesn't fit him, because I can't unsee what he did or the potential of what he can do, because he definitely can do more and have even better matches as a wrestler. And him going back to a general manager role is just kind of odd to me. So
yeah, I mean, number one, Cody being away from the WWE Championship, I'm not mad at that. I mean, I've been saying it myself, like, what can we get from Cody without him being around the WWE Championship? And we talked about this last week when we made our predictions. I wouldn't mind seeing CM Punk retain, because why does he deserve it? He doesn't deserve to be in this picture. If you don't remember, the people that want to say that, before Kevin Owens got injured, he was deep into the WWE Championship fucking picture because he got injured in a ladder match against Cody.
Yeah.
So shut the fuck up and enjoy the fact that Kevin Owens is back, and we're going to get him and CM Punk.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on Kevin Owens returning, though, because that was fucking awesome.
I did not see that coming. That easily probably one of the most shocking returns of 2026. Loved every single second of it. That's the one moment that it really got me out of my seat during the course of night two. What a way to really start it off too. You know, I mean, you start off with thinking it was just going to be Sami Zayn and Finn Balor. Then Nick Aldis comes out, makes it a triple threat by adding Gunther, then makes it a fatal four-way by having Kevin Owens coming back. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't see Kevin Owens coming back at all. I'm gonna be honest. I thought maybe if he had been gone maybe another year, we would probably be sitting here and getting Kevin Owens coming out and retiring. I really did not see him coming back. So that was honestly shocking, emotional. I mean, you saw several people in the audience getting emotional to tears seeing Kevin Owens come back, because they didn't see it coming. They didn't see it happening either. It was fantastic. I love the way he comes in there, and Sami Zayn, after the bell even rings, Sami Zayn is still in shock. Like, I can't believe what I'm saying right now.
Stood there for like 2 minutes. Didn't get involved in anything.
It was great. I love because that real life heat coming and being known on TV in said story, I think is just going to make this story even better. And you know what? Even me being as big of a CM Punk fan as I am, I would not be opposed to Kevin Owens beating CM Punk for the WWE Championship.
I wouldn't be either, because I'd what SmackDown desperately freaking needs. Because let's face it, a 3-hour show on a Friday night isn't getting the best watch time. Not getting the best.
No. This
could be a big help to Friday nights. So we'll have to see. But moving on from this, Chad Gable wins his first Intercontinental Championship against Penta. We talked about Penta's reign and what he did with the Intercontinental title. And now we got Chad Gable winning the Intercontinental Championship. That was a huge, huge deal. I'm going to say this right now. Shout out to somebody that we both watched, JD from New York, because he made a perfect fucking point in one of his videos he made.
Yeah.
You take away a very emotional moment from a man who's battled for 11 years to win his first singles championship, and you slap a fucking promo on it. You tell them, oh, by the way, you're having an emotional moment with your family. Drink this root beer with this mascot. You couldn't pick any other fucking time on that show. And I know I'm repeating what JD said. Not trying to, but he made the point. You couldn't pick any other time to just do that promo. You had to do it when Chad Gable wins the Intercontinental Championship. But let's give Chad Gable his moment, his flowers for the work that he's been doing. He said it tonight in his promo that he, in 11 years, went from being in a successful tag team that quickly turned into nothing because his partner gets injured and had to retire, going into the Shorty G character, going into a couple stables, working his way through what was supposed to be a joke of a character in El Grande Americano, and now this.
Yeah.
I mean, the man has busted his ass, and it now has paid off. And I had some fears from tonight. We'll talk about what I feared tonight, which I'm glad did not happen. But I'll say this. I think I shed a little bit of a tear last night when that tap out happened.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, like I said, first of all, great match between Penta and Chad Gable. I think Penta is up there. He's up there somewhere in the upper ranks of, I think, most defenses for that Intercontinental Championship on screen and, at some of these house shows as well. So great work there from Penta. I don't think I could have asked for a better match. Those guys definitely left it out in the middle of the ring. And for Chad Gable, it bothers me how they keep saying, his first singles championship in WWE, because that, to me, that just sounds egregious. Because it's like, how is this his first title?
Yeah.
He's done such great work. This is his first singles title? Are you kidding me? Like, he should already be a multiple time champion as it is. So that's wild. So I feel like they have a lot of catching up to do. Because I don't know what he plans for the remainder of his career. But they got a lot of catching up to do because that's ridiculous. But great for Chad Gable. The theme is kind of getting over now. He's starting to get the crowd actually invested into his theme song. We saw that again tonight as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was definitely emotional. Like I seeing how emotional he got after winning this championship, it definitely makes you gets you emotional as well. Just very well deserved. I'm really hoping that he has some great title defenses and good stories going forward after this. And again, like I said, to piggyback off of JD, first of all, he's the reason I'm even doing this in the first place. He's fantastic. He gave me some of the best advice probably anybody has ever given me in podcasting, and that's just be you. Don't try to be me. Just be you. So I'm always going to remember that. And like I said, he's the reason why I'm sitting here today. But I agree with him as well. It was very odd. He, just this mascot hops up on the apron and he's just like turning this into some commercial for their product or whatever. And I'm like, that's odd. I dang near thought the dude was tall too. He was huge. I thought it was freaking Big Cass for a second. I thought Big Cass was getting ready to freaking attack Chad Gable. Take off the headgear and go, oh my God, it's Big Cass. Like, wait a minute, what is going on here? So yeah, that was odd. You definitely kind of watered that moment down. He's there with his family and things like that. It was a very odd moment, very strange moment. But like I said, again, hopefully they don't do too many more things like that with Chad Gable. Like I said, just stay the course. Just stay on the right path. It shouldn't be that difficult. Chad Gable's amazing. So great for him though. Great match as well. So I can't be more happy.
I'd commented on JD's video, and I said, by the way, because he named off some of the root beers and birch beers he liked, we have a soda company here locally called A Treat, and they have a white birch beer, and it's super fucking delicious. Like, it's my favorite. So I commented that. I was like, I choose A Treat, white birch beer, because that's my favorite. But another emotional moment, Chelsea Green. I don't give a shit if the word interim is added on to this. Finally, women's WWE champion. Man, awesome. They had me reeling for a second. When she was hanging on that ladder, I was like, please do not do her dirty. Please do not. And when she popped up and grabbed that belt, holy crap, I think I woke up my neighbor. Well, it was early yet, so I don't think anybody was sleeping. But I'm sure, people down the street heard me. because I screamed my fucking head off. I scared my dogs. Like, I felt bad because I scared them. They went into hiding for a second. And but I screamed my fucking head off. I was like, yes, like, poof. Like I was probably louder than the crowd in the stadium. I probably was. I'm not gonna lie. Your thoughts on Chelsea, women's WWE champion?
Yeah, dude. Like I said, man, another great moment for another person that has just been overlooked for so long. Has been always kind of touted as like this, lovable loser. She's always just going to be that enhancement talent. She's going to always be striving for more, but never really achieving it. Kind of falling short of what they call the brass ring, so to speak. Even if it's an interim championship, which I'm not really a fan of, it's a start. Honestly, it is, and just the fact that she's holding up a championship that even resembles the actual WWE championship is major.
Yes.
Because I never thought it was going to happen. And I'm like you, like I was just a bundle of nerves. I'm like, please don't, I see, Me Chin and BFAB come out and I'm like, oh God, like don't end this like this, like come on. And then she, like I said, she just sits up and she's hauling ass off that ladder. Like that was nuts. She got up there in like 2 seconds. And just to see, again, just another emotional win and the crowd just go absolutely insane for her to put on that championship. And then what she said on the post show was even more great. I dedicate this championship to Michael Hayes, which is fantastic. Honestly, that's the exclamation point on this whole thing. So again, and I don't have a fear of where it goes from there because Chelsea Green for years now has been doing fantastic work. So
it's going to be enjoyable.
Like I said, another person has just been very entertaining, very good, and just extremely overlooked. So this is a long time coming. So I'm very happy for her. Exactly.
I would have been. Here's the thing: is I really wanted Chelsea to win. I was pulling for her to win.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I would have been okay with anybody else winning, but one person, and that would have been Lash Legend. Like if she would have won. I would have hated it, and I probably would have turned the show off.
Yeah, that
like,
yikes!
When I seen her climbing the ladder and getting ready to go grab that belt, I was like ready to hit the B button on my Xbox controller to close out the ESPN app because if she would have grabbed that belt, that show was turned off, and I would have had to like calm my fucking nerves down for about 2 or 3 hours and then go back and watch the rest of the show. That's probably what would have happened because I would have completed SummerSlam. I just wouldn't have been happy at that moment. And so, but Chelsea Green, man, WWE Women's Champion. I don't give a shit if the interim name is attached to it. She is the current WWE Women's Champion right now. And it's fucking beautiful to say and even think about. And I'm excited to see what they do with it. I am, because she's gold. She's going to be gold. She is. We did have a new United States champion crown, Baron Corbin, his first PLE back since coming back into the company, challenging Trick Williams for the United States title. Closing moments of the match was Lil Yachty trying to get involved, and when Trick went to go hit Baron Corbin, knocked him into Lil Yachty. Yachty went through a table, and then Baron Corbin hits the ends of days, wins the championship. Your thoughts on Baron Corbin becoming the new United States champion?
I know a lot of people are shocked about this. I know a lot of people are not. Some people might not be too happy about this. Again, Baron Corbin is one of those guys that I think is heavily criticized because a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, I'm not a fan of him," and blah blah blah. I think you're missing the bigger picture here with Baron Corbin. Even if you're not a fan of Baron Corbin, I think I was never really the biggest fan of Baron Corbin either. However, he is once again a company guy. Okay, he made these wacky gimmicks work somehow, some way, and you can't deny that the guy, for a bigger guy, was an innovative big guy in ring worker and always has been. The deep six looks fantastic. The end of days was the most protected move until one day it wasn't. When I forget who he faced, kicked out of it. So he's fantastic. He's great. What he does right now. So this move to me is not that shocking. They need to do something with him this time around and not just waste his time with, he's wealthy Corbin again because he's gambling in Las Vegas, and like let's stop with the, cheesy gimmicks and just let him work and let him do his thing. Now our good friend Phil had made a video. I didn't watch the video in full, but he had made a video that this is setting up perfectly for Carmelo Hayes again. Now I could definitely see that a program with Baron Corbin and Carmelo Hayes. I think Baron will get the best of Carmelo Hayes and elevate Carmelo Hayes into being a bigger babyface. So this could be a short-lived run for Baron Corbin, and Carmelo Hayes could come in and beat Baron Corbin. But until we get to there, until we get to then, Baron Corbin being the United States champion, I think is a good start. I have no problems with it.
Drew McIntyre was the first person to kick out of the end of days.
There you go.
Yeah. So I looked it up. I Googled it. I'll admit that. It's not something I remembered. So, yeah. Last thing, World Heavyweight Championship, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns ends up retaining the World Heavyweight Championship. And here's the thing, Cam, is I know this match wasn't everything that was possibly expected. It wasn't a banger. It wasn't a 5-star, show-stealing match. But I really sat back and thought about this match after the fact, okay? And what I took away from this match was, number one, it was the closing of a 12, 13-year story of the Shield. Last night, these two guys faced for possibly the very last time for a World Heavyweight Championship, in their words, in the lead-up. And there was a lot of Shield references. And at the end of the match, they stood in the middle of the ring. They did the Shield pose, minus Dean Ambrose, a.k.a. Jon Moxley. But the face mask that Seth wore seemed to be the representation for Dean. And then the face mask obviously being left in the middle of the ring. Roman walked away with it at the end of the night, as we've seen. That's the first thing I seen as it being a takeaway. It was the closing of a chapter of the Shield, meaning we should no longer hear or see any Shield references moving forward if these two men cross their paths again. Moving forward, it's going to be, new stuff being added in to the saga if there is a continuation. And now number two, Roman obviously continuing his reign as the tribal chief, showing that he was, pretty much the chosen one of the Shield when Seth being the architect, the builder. Okay. So basically the way I looked at it was just pretty much just the closing of a chapter of a 13-year story. And that's it. That's the way I looked at it. And now we're moving forward with these two guys going their own separate ways and probably never cross paths again in their careers. This might have been it for between these two. But that was my main takeaway, was the closing of the chapter of this story. Because let's face it, Jon Moxley ain't coming back to WWE.
No.
Like, if there was any indications of the possibilities of that fact, then I'd be like, okay, they'll probably open the book again. But at this point, in all of their careers, I don't see Jon Moxley ever returning. So they had to close it. They had to close that chapter. But your thoughts on Roman and Seth? What was your takeaway on this one?
Don't get me wrong. I didn't care for it when the bell rung, but I think this was wildly better than Cody and Punk.
Oh, definitely.
This was a classic. This is going to go down in history as one of the best main events of SummerSlam. Like, it was really good. Don't get me wrong. The last maybe 15 seconds to 2 minutes or so was probably kind of dragged out because Seth just kept like spamming the stomp, goes to the middle rope, hits a super stomp. Like, it was kind of spammed out, which I was like, okay, just end the match already. Like, we're getting to that point where it's just getting kind of ridiculous at this point. How many finishing moves can you hit in the next 30 seconds? It was weird.
Yeah.
But it was great. It was fantastic. I think both of them really just went out there and put everything out there that they possibly could have. Every ounce of energy they could have put into this match. Fantastic storytelling, which I'm all about. And yeah, like I said, it was definitely a end of an era, which I know we've heard that a lot in some of these filled matches. going back to the 90s of, Stone Cold and Vince McMahon. It's the end of an era. Like, we've heard that a lot. This time, I really do think it was. They do the Shield pose. Somebody had said online that, with the Shield mask in front of them, they said that was like the representation of Moxley or Dean Ambrose. I could definitely see that. That makes sense to me. I'm in agreement with you. If there were I mean, this is the slimmest of slim chances that they would offer a contract to a leaving AEW John Moxley to come back as Dean Ambrose, then yeah, we probably would have to open this book back up. Or I definitely do think it's over. And it's done. We don't need to see it again. This was like their 10th match overall facing each other. So we don't need to see it again. So it definitely felt like this was a closing of the just a story book on these two. Fantastic match though, overall. Massive respect for both of them and what they were able to accomplish. I didn't see Roman losing, which is why mainly I wasn't really that too invested. I just didn't see Seth beating Roman.
Yeah.
But overall, like I said, fantastic match. Like, again, it's going to go down in history as a classic for sure.
It definitely is. I mean, those guys put on a 40 to 45 minute, put on a good story. A good story. I mean, we could sit here and, me and you were kind of picking some things apart last night, talking to each other, and it's like we don't have to sit here and do that. The whole not counting out when they're in the crowd, but at ringside, it's not going to start counting.
It's just in the moment it looks goofy, but like I said, overall it was not a bad match.
No, it was definitely a good match. But that leads us into tonight, the Monday Night Raw after SummerSlam. It's considered the second biggest Monday Night Raw of the year. First one is the Raw after WrestleMania. So, Cam, as I always ask you, what would you grade Monday Night Raw tonight?
I'm giving Raw tonight a D+.
That's definitely fair.
I wasn't really too invested in anything that they did. There were some good moments. They have some flashes of something interesting, but it just overall felt like they are just trying to keep their head above water once again. And I feel like they shouldn't be doing that when they just came off of a fantastic night two. But I think that night two did more for SmackDown than it did for Raw.
Oh, definitely.
So, yeah, I think all of this excitement to me right now is SmackDown. Like, SmackDown to me right now after night two is a must watch for come Friday. So, but tonight it's just like they're just trying to survive. They really didn't provide anything all that new. I think we're just headed back to the same old with Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, because it seems like as of right now, they're on the road to Money in the Bank, which is in 2 months.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like they really have anything, coming up as far as PLE wise to prepare for. So it all leads to Money in the Bank in October. So we got a pretty decently long road ahead of us heading into the fall, and we're so used to SummerSlam kind of being in the middle towards end of August. And lately, these past couple of years, we've been getting it at the end of July, beginning of August.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, we got through the summertime, but we still have like 30 days left. So, like 29 days left as of today. But it's still the point of you still have some summertime to get away. Oh, and by the way, now you have the rest of September because you don't have a PLE plan for September. So now it's Money in the Bank was originally supposed to be in September, then they pushed it back.
Yeah, they pushed it back like 3 times.
Yeah. So now it's on the road to Money in the Bank, which I'll say this. I don't think it's a bad thing because now they have some time to really think about what they want to do heading into that PLE. They cannot do New Orleans dirty. They can't. Because they took away WrestleMania from them this year. You push this PLE back 2 or 3 times already. You got to give them something worth heading into that stadium for. So they got time to really, really think about what they want to do and give to not only the people in that stadium, but the people at home who are paying for ESPN for the month of September when they're getting absolutely nothing because we've got to pay for our subscription each month, right? Got to give us something worth it. So they got some time now. Make it count. Make it worth it. C- for me tonight, because there were some things that I did like. I'm going to ask you one more question before we get into Raw. Were any of the matches tonight interesting for you? Anything worth talking about that you want to talk about with the matches? Because if not, we're going to hit the high points tonight.
Outside of Javon and Ethan Page, I thought that was pretty good.
Okay, we could talk about that one, but anything else? Nothing?
Other than that, not really.
Well, I will say this. The tag team match between, we know Chad Gable came out, gave a speech about winning the Intercontinental title. Penta came out and gave him his flowers, which was respectable. He got his flowers last night. He got his flowers tonight. And then it came into an impromptu tag team match. I was kind of scared for a minute because I'm thinking, oh, please don't Matt Cardona him. Please do not do this to him. And then it turned into an impromptu tag team match with the Judgment Day. And Penta hit Dom with a belt because Dom had a hammer in his shoe that Dom was going to use, and he got caught. And then Penta just grabbed the Intercontinental title, whacked Dom with it in the head, and then Chad Gable ended up getting the win for their team. So, but yeah, that match, it was pretty decent for what it was. There is a tie-in to the main event. I mean, the street fight, it was okay. They should just call these street fights steel chair matches, because that's all that gets involved. Like, oh, we're going to pull 50 steel chairs out from underneath the ring and call it a street fight.
Yeah.
That's it. And then the only thing that happened at the end was Roman came out and, gave Jacob the stamp of approval, because there was a promo in the back where Roman gave the Usos and Jacob some shit for losing on Saturday night. And, he also gave Jacob some shit about Royce Keys, calling him family and everything like that. And that's what ended up being tonight. And Royce Keys, let's just say this. He looked like he was spitting up some blood clots out of his mouth after Jacob was done with him. It was a little bloody. But the only time for that was that backstage promo that we've seen. We will talk about the Roman Reigns opening segment. So yeah, let's get into this. Let's start off with Roman Reigns coming out, and he talked about winning his match against Seth, and he talked about his 2026 in a whole, coming back, winning the Royal Rumble, going to WrestleMania, beating CM Punk, bringing back the bloodline together, and also bringing in Jacob. And then LA Knight interrupts him. LA Knight comes out, congratulates Roman, but he called Roman, he said he's still a fraud. And Roman was pretty much questioning, like, how am I the fraud? Like, I've been a champion. I've been a leader of this company. I got this company to where it's at today with what I've done for the past 5-6 years. And you've done absolutely nothing but win a 6-man tag match. So you're going to come out here and bitch and complain thinking you get a title match? No, doesn't work like that. It's not going to work like that anymore. You got to earn it. You got to show that you earn it. You can't just come out here and bitch and expect to get a title shot. And then LA Knight turned around and started still calling Roman a fraud and pretty much trying to get under the skin of Roman Reigns. And that's what led to that backstage with Roman and the Usos and Jacob of saying, hey, you couldn't take care of LA Knight on Saturday night. Now I'm going to have to. And then before LA Knight left, he said, you hear that? He said, now he's got to take care of me and you guys can't touch me. So it seems like we are leading down the road of LA Knight and Roman Reigns for the World's Heavyweight Championship. Cam, your thoughts on this? I mean, LA Knight, I mean, do you think this is a bad timing thing for LA Knight? Because we've been saying it for a while now. You specifically have been like singing the praises of LA Knight, which is not a bad thing. I'm not, you've been singing the praises of LA Knight, and he definitely deserves to be in a position to be in a world title picture. But it seems like every time they do it, it's in the position of there's really no chance of him winning because of where Roman's at the moment. So your thoughts on this whole thing with Roman Reigns and LA Knight?
Like I said, LA Knight right now is on a heater. Like, he can't miss on that mic right now. That's always been his strong suit, but here lately, I think he's turned it up several more notches. He has created probably at least 4 or 5 just clippable moments for WWE's socials, whether he's mocking the Usos going into SummerSlam, he's mocking, brother with Seth and Roman, he's mocking Roman again tonight. Like, he's fantastic right now. He's entertaining, and then everything he's saying, because I think with different promos from different people, you can kind of nitpick or pick out things that they say that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Everything that he says, it makes sense. And it flows, and it feels like it doesn't feel scripted. It just feels like this is just him letting out just frustration over just creative and being stepped over and looked over and things like that. So to me, I really gravitate towards those kinds of things, because it's like, okay, you got to do something with this guy, because you just can't keep knocking him down the mountain when he's on the verge of climbing it, right? Now, to your point, yeah, they always set him up in position, and I feel like it's always the wrong time, because the person that always has the title is either Cody with the WWE Championship on SmackDown, and I didn't think he was getting anywhere near Cody, and then now moving him over to Raw, and once again, same problem he had on SmackDown when Roman was champion, is Roman is champion again on Raw. So again, I know it in the back of my head. I know it's coming. Like, they're not going to put the title on LA Knight, especially with the position that Roman is in right now. But right now he looks like he's the biggest threat. If Roman is really going into this solo like he says, and doesn't need the bloodline to help him out, I don't see a harm or no harm, no foul, I guess you could say, with having LA Knight pull off the shocker and beating Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight title. Even if you only have him pull a Sammy and he only holds that title for a month, and then instead of doing this bloodline war games thing again, you have him go to at least Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Have some stipulation, my last man standing or whatever, with LA Knight, Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns wins the title back then. I don't see why not. I don't see the harm in that. Give this man at least one world title run. It doesn't have to be long. It can be brief. You can put it back on the guy that you really want to get behind. Great. But you just cannot keep knocking him back down on the verge of climbing that mountain. It's harming his character. It's harming his overall, popularity and fans gravitating towards him and being behind him.
Yeah.
But again, he's so good that he's been able to keep himself in that conversation. So I don't see the harm in it. I really don't. It was fantastic promo tonight. Once again, he just seems like he can't miss.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to when he faced Roman the first time, like it was said tonight, so many people were involved in that match that it took all those people for Roman to beat LA Knight in that first title match 3 years ago. Then you go back to, what was it, like the middle of 2025? Yeah, it was actually going into SummerSlam last year when Seth was the champion. Or, no, Seth wasn't the champion. Yeah, he was the champion because the title got vacated. And, LA Knight ended up... No, Seth wasn't the champion at that time, was he? Yeah, because LA Knight was facing him. And...
You mean when they faced at Saturday Night's Main Event?
Yeah, Seth was Money in the Bank.
Yeah, he had the...
Yeah, Seth was Money in the Bank. Sorry. But even so, it's like he was having that feud with Seth. Seth wins the title at SummerSlam because he cashed in. And then LA Knight was pretty much nowhere to be found when he was in the middle of the feud with Seth when he, got injured. So you kind of, you put the belt back on Seth, and you already had that set in storyline with LA Knight from months before, and you couldn't insert him in. You had to continue with CM Punk and Seth. So it's like LA Knight just keeps getting pushed to the side, snubbed, whatever you want to call it. I'm with you. There'd be no harm in LA Knight winning the championship, even if it's for a day, a week, a month. Sadly enough, the man's not going to headline WrestleMania because he could. He could.
Definitely could, yeah.
A night one, yeah, he could. I wouldn't put me personally, and I know you're a huge fan of him. I'm a fan of him too. You're a bigger fan of LA Knight than I am. I'll admit that. So you being the big fan that you are, you'd probably put him on a night 2 main event. Me as a fan, I would put him on a night 1 main event. And it sucks that we're at that point to where we sit here and compare night 1 to night 2. You know what I mean? But either or, he'd be in the main event of a night.
Yeah.
You know, and he would fit that role. He could do it. There's no doubt in that. But with the way things are going, they wouldn't put him in that position. Even if he deserved it, which he does. So give him the belt for a little bit. Let him run with it. And then put it on whoever you want to put it on, let's say at the Royal Rumble. That way you're going into WrestleMania with the champion you want to be champion, and you could set up whatever main event you want to set up for when they go to Saudi for WrestleMania 43. Give LA Knight some time with it. Roman ain't going away. He's never going away from the world title picture. Roman is a world title picture character now. Just like Cody is. And they did the thing with Roman for a little bit away from the world title. But moving forward, he's a world title character. That's the way I look at Roman now. He's a world title character. He's going to be around all the time, regardless of what happens. So, but I'm with you. LA Knight needs to be in that picture. Let's talk about the Judgment Day. Judgment Day, Liv Morgan came out, talked about her win on Saturday, talked about Roxanne winning the Intercontinental title last week against Sol Ruca. Went into the match between Roxanne and Sol Ruca tonight. Sol Ruca ended up winning by DQ because Liv Morgan and Raquel got involved. And then out came Becky Lynch, returning Becky Lynch. And Becky said that she wasn't coming for the Intercontinental Championship. No, she made that belt popular. She now wants Liv Morgan's championship. Her and Liv Morgan then had some back and forth. Some words that were said that didn't make sense, especially the words that were said before another return happened. And then we got Stephanie Vacquier. And Stephanie and Becky face-to-face in the middle of the ring. Stephanie said to Becky, "Stay out of my way." And Becky said, "Or what?" So we got a little bit of action in the women's division for the women's world title after Liv Morgan thought she had no more challengers. Now Becky Lynch and Stephanie Vacquier have their sights set on the World Heavyweight Championship. Your thoughts on the Becky return and your thoughts on the Stephanie return?
Yeah, man, the tale of 2 returns. I don't mind Becky being back. That women's division needs all the help it can get right now. And her being back on television is just going to be great. I have a problem with her being a babyface again. I think she's just a better heel in my personal opinion. But you called it. Credit to you. Her chasing now the World Heavyweight Championship, which makes sense. There's nothing left for her to do with the Intercontinental title. And might I add, it looks hideous right now, covered in fake barbed wire, around the shoulder of Raquel. It looks stupid.
I'm curious.
It just looks dumb. But so her facing Liv Morgan. First of all, Liv Morgan, she is easily the most annoying person on that roster. Every time she goes and she's like, I mute it every single time because that's all she says.
It keeps getting longer.
It gets worse. It gets worse every week. I'm like, okay, we get it. Like, you don't gotta say it every week. My goodness, like I don't know. It's crazy. I was so hoping when she got in the face of Becky, I was hoping Becky would have just hauled back and just slapped her. Like, that would have been amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm not opposed to a program with her and Liv. And then of course Vacquier comes back. Yeah, that's unfinished. I think they got robbed of a great WrestleMania match due to time constraints. The match that Io and Liv produced with the time that they got was what we should have gotten with Liv and Stephanie Vacquier. So they obviously got to run that back and give us something better, because they could definitely produce something a lot better than what we got at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And then the interesting dynamic between Becky and Stephanie. So if we get a triple threat at some point for the world championship, I think that'd be really good. So either way, like I said, the women's division right now is looking up, because it was looking pretty bare bones after Stephanie got hurt, and it was just really no direction for Liv Morgan with the women's world championship. So it has no choice but to be good. So two great returns that are going to just better the women's division.
I just, like I said, I just had this feeling of, after we got Becky and AJ Lee for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania, but my first thought is what more can Becky do for the Intercontinental title? She's done great things as big time Bex this time around, and I'm sure she's going to continue doing great things as big time Bex coming back. But her time with the Intercontinental title, I felt, was done. Not saying she wasn't doing good with it, but it was time for this character to move on to bigger and better things, being the World Heavyweight Championship. Tonight, did she give the feel of being a babyface? She did. But when I look at everything surrounding that women's world title after tonight, Liv is the heel, Stephanie's the babyface, and Becky is kind of in that middle. Becky's not heel. She's not babyface. She's just Becky Lynch. She's just big time Bex. We are back when we got the start of the man character. Because if you go back to when Becky first started the man character, yes, she was loved by the crowd. Everybody was behind her, especially going into WrestleMania and the triple threat against Charlotte and Ronda. Everybody wanted her to walk out with both belts. Everybody was behind her. I think we're back to that point with her, but with the big time Bex character, not so much the man character. So I don't feel like she's a heel or a babyface. I think she's just big time Bex. So we got our heel and babyface with Liv and Stephanie, and Becky's kind of in the middle of everything. Now, as far as the Women's World Championship, Stephanie, does she deserve to get another run with that Women's World Championship? Definitely. Definitely deserves another shot at it, at running with that championship. But at the same time, again, the big time Bex character, she ran so hard with that Intercontinental title. It's like, what more does she do without a championship? All that's left to do is put that world title on her and see what she does, and then that'd be it. I feel like and it's tough to say this because you never know. You never know where somebody's at in their career. But part of me has this feeling with what we got from Seth going into the Roman stuff, of Seth saying, we're closer to the end than the beginning. And now Becky being where she's at in her career, and just us knowing about their lives, part of me feels like Becky is like close to saying, wrestling's done for her. And she's got a few things she wants to do yet. You know what I mean? Like, she's close to the retirement stage. And it sucks to say that and think that, but I think she wants one more run with that world championship before saying goodbye. Because what more is there for Becky to do realistically?
I don't know.
There's new people coming in, new women coming up, but you could tell
that's really probably what's going to keep her there.
Yeah. But you can tell,
well, I haven't wrestled these certain people, so.
Yeah. But you can also tell that she's very invested into her home life, because after a big rivalry like with AJ Lee, she goes away for a little bit.
Yep.
So that's why I'm kind of in that mind frame of, is she close to saying, hey, let's hang up the boots and call it a day? So I don't know. We'll have to see. Tonight was just the start of everything to come, and we'll have to see what comes of everything. So real quick, we'll talk about it. Javon Evans and Ethan Page had a match tonight. Javon Evans ended up picking up a win. And then we got the return of Big Cass. Big Cass made his return, the expected return, as the promos were happening for the past couple weeks. He did do an interview later on in the night, and he said that he is here to stack up bodies, and it's nothing personal, Javon, but you are the first of many bodies to be stacked up. You're the first, but definitely not the last. Your thoughts of the return of Big Cass?
Again, very interesting decision to make him a heel right off the bat. I like it, honestly. I don't have any problems with it right now. Um, it's going to lose theme, I think, very quickly, given the fact that they kind of just dropped him in out of thin air after having these really good vignettes for weeks now. Because it's I don't know, it's really limited. It feels like
Yeah.
I miss the days of returns where they have these cryptic, mysterious promo packages. You're trying to piece together who this could be, and then some match towards the end of the show, it's like lights go out, lights come back on, and then it's whoever it is. That's how I feel like they should have did this, because it was just like Javon wins the match and then you turn around and Cass is just standing there. It's like, okay, there was just there was no theatrics to actually like hype this up. They kind
Like
of
no
just
music, no entrance, no
no
coming down
nothing.
the
He just
aisleway or anything. Yeah.
boop, he just appears. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, that's kind of odd. But it's a good starting point. I think Javon, as good as Javon is, I think he works just as well with people like twice his size. If you don't believe me, go back to Oba versus Javon and the multiple matches they had in NXT.
Yeah.
So believe me when I tell you, it may look like a lopsided match, but trust me, it's not. He works very good with people much bigger than him. So I think this is going to be the same thing. I think it's a testament really to Javon Evans. It speaks volumes of what they think of Javon Evans, right? Javon Evans right now is building that steam back up with these wins on Raw. And I think they trust him to again just be the one to usher and basically reintroduce Big Cass back to the main roster on Monday Night Raw, for us all to see on Monday night. So that speaks volumes of what they think of Javon Evans right now, to be able to work, be the first one to get Big Cass. To the match itself, again, as much as I don't like Ethan Page, I'm just not a fan of Ethan Page as in general. He has been on a heater with these Monday Night Raw matches. He's put on some really good matches. He had a string of good matches with Rey Mysterio, which is huge to have a good matches with a legend like Rey Mysterio. And then he's put on some good matches with Javon Evans. So he puts on really good matches thus far. I'm just not a fan of him in general, but
That's
overall it was a pretty good match. And like I said, we'll see where Big Cass goes. I like the promo. Honestly, like I said, there's no goal really. I'm just here to just wreak havoc. So it's plain and simple. I like it.
I kind of wish he didn't put in the line, "It's nothing personal, bro." Like, I kind of wish he didn't add that in there. I wish he would have just kept the intensity of saying, like, just adding that line of you are the first of many bodies I'm here to stack up. Like, don't add in the whole, it's nothing personal, bro. Because when he first comes in, your first impression of him is, oh, he's going to be a heel. And he's a big guy. He can pull this off. Because his first run in WWE, when he tried to do the heel thing, he turned on Enzo. Obviously, he had some personal issues, personal stuff he was dealing with. And that is initially why he, left WWE. And then he went and took care of himself, ended up in AEW, which obviously was not going to be talked about tonight because they don't do that. They don't acknowledge his fact of being in AEW. But he mentioned, it's been 10 long years since I've been gone. It took me this long to get back out from the darkness, to get back here. Nothing personal, bro. But you're one of the first of many bodies I'm going to stack up. Like, I don't think he needed to add it in. If you want to make me believe that you're going to be this monster fucking heel that's going to come in and destroy people, don't add in the line, "It's nothing personal." Make it fucking personal. Make me believe you're going to be this monster that's going to come in and start destroying people. By all means, I have no expectations of you. I don't expect you to come in and fucking stack up championships. I don't expect you to do that. That's all going to come in due time. Like Baron Corbin, they did him right. He's been on the right track ever since coming back.
Yeah.
And hopefully they keep it that way. You could have mirrored that with Big Cass. but did it bigger with him. Because when you look at Baron Corbin and Big Cass side by side, by all means, Baron Corbin is a dangerous looking dude. He's a dude I wouldn't want to fuck with. But Big Cass, I wouldn't even want to walk on the same side of the street that he's on. Like, I'm just saying, like, you could, like, that one line just kind of threw me off tonight. And hopefully he does something for me to forget about it. I'm gonna sit here and just pretend I didn't hear him say it. And let's see what they do moving forward. Because he could still be that dangerous monster that's going to go out and fucking destroy people. And yes, they are entrusting Javon Evans to be the first one to usher him in, which is a testament to him because he is a hard worker. Don't like you with Ethan Page. I'm not a fan of Javon Evans. I'm not. I respect the work he does, but I'm not a fan of him. I'm not. But he does great work. And it's showing because they are trusting him to bringing Cass in and saying, hey, you're the first one that's going to be up against him. Make him look good. And I've seen highlights. And the reason why I was agreeing with you with the whole Obafemi thing is because, yes, I don't watch NXT, but I've seen highlights of their matches. I've seen highlights. And yeah, he works fucking great with guys bigger than him. So he could definitely do it. He's going to make Big Cass look good. The question is, can Big Cass make Big Cass look good? That's going to be the big question. So we'll have to see. Last thing to talk about, we've seen Obafemi. He came in tonight, and the first thing we see of him is him running into Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman obviously watching a little mini video we've seen. Here's the thing is we've seen the same video after WrestleMania of Brock Lesnar. Now we see Paul Heyman at the end of the video standing there watching the thing. And he seemed a little emotional because now where does Paul Heyman go from here? He's kind of distanced himself, taking himself away from the vision. And Brock's gone. So now what does Paul do from here? Obafemi walks in, runs into him, and says, hey, I never got the opportunity to say thank you to Brock Lesnar for everything that he said, that he's done. So next time you see or talk to him, please tell him I said thank you. And Paul Heyman said, it would be a pleasure to do so, sir. Obafemi then goes out to the ring, and he talks about the torch that was just handed to him, and him saying that if anybody ever wants to, or anybody has a problem with me holding this torch, then you have to answer to Obafemi. His music hits, he leaves, and then out comes the Vision. Him and Braun Breaker have a stare down at the top of the ramp, and it seemed to bother Braun Breaker so much that he couldn't even be focused with his match against Joe Hendry, which was not very long. He ended up beating Joe Hendry. And then as he left, we obviously see Austin Theory attack Joe Hendry. Tozawa comes out and helps out Joe Hendry. But then Braun's in the back, and he goes up to Paul Heyman and says, hey, what Obafemi said and did, it bothered me, and I'm going to do something about it. And Paul Heyman said, you should. And he asked Paul, do you know where Oba is? No, I don't. And then he accused Paul Heyman of him and Oba now being best friends. So it looks like we're going to be going down the path of Obafemi and Braun Breaker. I said to you off air that Obafemi, the chosen one, and the former chosen one, Braun Breaker. And your thoughts on this, man? I mean, Braun Breaker, he seemed like he was on a good path for a while, and it kind of side shifted out to Obafemi. So your thoughts on this?
I mean, man, they definitely need to do something with Braun, because right now the current position he's in, a lot of people have been talking about this, where it just looks weird. He's holding a tag team title with Austin Theory in a group that probably should have been dead a long time ago. It's a far cry from the things that we thought he was going to be doing when he first came to the main roster. So yeah, I don't know what happened, but they definitely, like, it's like they slipped down just a slippery slope. This is a mudslide with Braun Breaker, and they don't really know how to recover. So they definitely need to do something to make Braun look like the superstar he once was when he came to the main roster. And I think this is the way to do it. Just that stare down that him and Oba had at the top of the ramp, it screams money. I think that's the direction to go with Oba. Because again, we can't help but to ask what's next. Now that Brock is in the rearview mirror, so I think that's the route to go. Roman, obviously, it's just too early. It's a random time in the middle of the year. Too early for Roman right now. So he definitely needs something to hold him until we get to that moment. And like I said, Braun desperately needs another big opponent. He definitely desperately needs another big opportunity because the tag team thing right now is just not doing it for anyone. The match was not really a match. I mean, like I said, it was just a squash. I mean, you even called that. The one thing I really noticed was you know how fast and hard Braun was running when he tried to spear Joe Hendry on the outside of the ring because Joe Hendry jumped over him and he ran his shoulder into the side of the steel steps. When he gets up, there literally is basically almost like an imprint of the steps on his shoulder.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa! He was running hard and fast into the steel steps. That's how you know how fast that man was going. That's crazy. So yeah, it was great. I loved how they sold it with. I mean, the opening of the match. Braun is still Roba's gone, but Braun is still staring at the entrance ramp like Oba just like stole his dog or something.
Yeah.
like Oba possesses something that Braun wants. So I'm liking where it's going right now because again, you gotta it's not so much about Oba. I think this is gonna be great for Oba, but it's more so about Braun Breaker. Get him back to feeling like a star again, even if he's no longer the chosen one. Make me feel like he is once again. So I think it's the right direction.
I have two thoughts on this. Number one is the in storyline, in ring, on the show thought. And the other one is the pull the curtain back behind the scenes thought. Which one do you want first?
The behind the scenes first.
The behind the scenes. Okay. My thought with the behind the scenes is, and again, I watched the Unreal thing. I'm a sucker for documentaries, whether I like the fact they're doing something like this or not. I'm just a sucker for documentaries, and I'm going to watch it, especially if it's in the realm of interest, like pro wrestling, football, et cetera, et cetera. If you watch season 3 of Unreal, Braun Breaker is a key focus on season 3. They even deem him the next guy up, like the guy that they're going to focus on to build up, to get into the spotlight, and possibly be their main event for big shows like WrestleMania and SummerSlam. But what's one thing that plagues him? Injuries. And it happens in the most unpeculiar times. I can't say that word properly. I never could. The most unopportune times, I should say. And when you watch Braun Breaker, he's a 0 to 100 guy. He goes from 0 to 100 in a split second. I mean, the guy fucking ran 80 yards down a aisleway to spear somebody at WrestleMania. He's, in a sense, you look at it, he goes at high speed, and it almost looks careless. He's throwing his body around. Like you just said tonight, he ran into the fucking steps and left an imprint on himself. That's almost asking like you're going to injure, like you want to injure yourself in a sense. Not saying that that's what his focus is, because you could tell, especially in that documentary, when he came back from his injury, he was emotional about it. He's back. He's back to work. Great. Keep yourself there then, and start thinking logically. Maybe I should fucking slow down a little bit and care about what I'm doing opposed to going 100. Because yes, when Seth got hurt, when the vision turned on Seth, when Seth got hurt and he was out for a while and the vision turned on him, He specifically told Braun Breaker, fucking lay into me like you mean it. Like, do not hold back. You know, go at me 100. Make it look like I got taken out. Make it look like you took me out for months. So, before they went out and did that, Braun goes to him, I apologize in advance. I'm sorry. And Seth's like, no, it's fine. Do what you got to do. Make this look real. And Paul's standing there saying, all of our money depends on it, so you better fucking make this look real. Okay? You look at Braun Breaker, and half the time it looks careless. Half the time he looks like he doesn't give a shit about throwing his body around. Yeah, he wants to make it look real. But there's a way to do it to make it look good and real, but slowing yourself down and being careful about it. And I think the office, the writers, Triple H are starting to think maybe we should take a little more time before we put him in this position because, you know, if he gets injured again and he's in a high point of a storyline and he gets hurt, that derails all of our plans. You watch Obafemi, yeah, his stuff looks destructive, but you could tell he's being very careful about how he does it. You could tell. And I think that's what it is with Braun Breaker. That's just my opinion. That's just what I'm seeing as a fan. That's just what I'm looking at. And that's just my thought of what the people in the office are probably thinking. Now, in ring, in storyline, Obafemi basically overlapped Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker is on his high horse. He knows he's the next guy up, all this stuff. And then here comes Obafemi. And Obafemi was probably supposed to be the guy that was supposed to get an opportunity and wasn't supposed to go as far as it did. And now he has the torch. And it was handed to him by a guy who held that torch for a very long time. Braun wants to be the guy to carry that torch because he was supposed to be the chosen one. And I don't think the office, and to throw in the backstage, I don't think the office thought Oba was going to get this over. Part of me feels that way. I don't think they think he was going to get this over and this popular, and he did. And now they're in the point of Oba's popular. We got to run with this guy because he's money. Oba is money. Dude, like I said, I went to that live event 2-3 weeks ago, and the biggest pop of the night was when Oba came out. Biggest fucking pop of the night. I mean, 10,000 people up on their feet. Oba, doing the strut. You know, this guy's over as shit. He is. And they got money, and they know it. They got money in him, and I don't think they expected it. And like I said before, too, is I think back when Brock took on fucking what's his name that he took on at WrestleMania. It was I'm trying to think of his name now. Fucking what's his name? Omos. Yeah. I think that was their plans for Omos, and Omos just didn't do it. Where Oba is now proving he can.
Yeah.
But if you watch Oba on the documentary, he's a very serious. He takes this shit serious. Like, his head is on straight with everything. He'll do anything he's asked, and he takes this opportunity very seriously. And I think that's why he's very careful with what he does, too. Like, he makes things look impactful, but he's very safe about it. So, I don't know, man. I think we got something good here. I think this is going to be good. I think it can be good. It's going to be good between him and Braun. It's going to come down to how Braun controls himself. I think that's what it's going to come down to. I'm trying to be as nice as I can be about this. I am. Because I don't want to say it yet, but I want to premeditately say I think Oba overlapped Braun. And I now think Oba's the guy.
Yeah.
I think Oba's the guy. I don't think Braun fully took away his own opportunity, because there's going to be plenty of opportunity for him. But Oba definitely overlapped him right now.
Yeah.
And as long as Oba stays as over as he is, it's going to continue to be that way. So, I don't know. I could also be wrong. I could be wrong. So we'll have to see. That's Monday Night Raw from Des Moines, Iowa tonight. Cam, superstar of the night. Who do you got?
Superstar of the night. I'm gonna go with Big Cass. Big Cass, like I said, I think he definitely made an impact coming out there. And like I said, I think sky's the limit. I definitely am curious to see what he can do and what he does on this run with WWE as a heel right now. So we'll definitely have to see.
My superstar of the night is not only my superstar of the night, it's my superstar of the weekend. That is the new Intercontinental Champion, Chad Gable. That's mine. I know Chad didn't give us much tonight, but I want to continue to give him his flowers this week because I think he deserves it. And I have to throw in Chad Gable. I do. If I had to pick somebody just for tonight, I would agree with you, Big Cass. And I would probably have to throw in LA Knight because LA Knight just fucking was on fire on the microphone tonight.
Yeah.
But I have to go Chad Gable. I have to give him his flowers at least 1 week. I have to put him as my superstar of the night because of winning that Intercontinental Championship and a great performance in that tag team match tonight. Great fucking performance by him. It was good. If anybody made that match look good, it was him. So Chad Gable's definitely mine. Last thing on this day, Cam, not much history in wrestling on this day. Can you believe that? Like, you would think the beginning of August, there'd be a lot of history. There's only three things that happened on this day in history in professional wrestling. So I'm just going to read them all off real quick. 1996, Dr. Death Steve Williams made his ECW debut at the Doctor Is In show held at the ECW Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And on the show, Taz and Brian Lee defeated Williams and his partner Tommy Dreamer. In the night's main event, Sabu defeated Rob Van Dam in a stretcher match. Okay. In 2020, on an episode of Monday Night Raw, was at the WWE Performance Center, Shane McMahon made his return to the company as the central figure in the debuting Raw Underground format.
Nice.
But the most important, probably the most highlighted moment on this day in professional wrestling was in 1997 at SummerSlam. Took place at the Continental Airlines Arena in East Rutherford, New Jersey. The main event was Bret Hart defeating The Undertaker for the WWE Championship. However, the event is best known for being the night that Stone Cold Steve Austin suffered a career-altering broken neck that was in the hands of Owen Hart on a botched tombstone pile driver, and Stone Cold still walking out as the Intercontinental Champion. So big history-defining moment on that night. So, but Stone Cold still went on to have a successful 5 to 6 years to continue his career because he retired in 2003. But, defining moments. So it's what happened on this day in pro wrestling. So, but Cam, let's get the hell out of here, man. It's that time. Your social medias are going to be up right here on the screen. Make sure you're heading over to Cam's social medias after the show, hitting that follow button and checking everything out, especially Cam's Wrestling Corner. I'm not just saying that because this man is digitally sitting next to me. Great fucking videos, great takes on wrestling. You will not be disappointed. Cam, what do you got going on?
Like I said, definitely keep with me on Cam's Wrestling Corner on TikTok. My wrestling predictions and reviews and things of that nature are on there. Mainly as pretty much active on there as well. And then, like I said, we'll be here again next Monday for more Table Spot after Monday Night Raw. And then, of course, before that, this week, we will be back with the addition of Phil Khan on the boom, talking some more AEW Dynamite. So definitely join us for that. And I love and appreciate all you guys coming by and checking out the stream tonight.
So make sure you're heading over to Cam's social medias, and also make sure you're heading over to the Boom PW Pod over on Twitch and on YouTube. Hit that follow and subscribe button and get ready to check out the Boom on Wednesday night after AEW Dynamite with Cam, myself, and Phil following the show, talking about the show. You can follow me on social media on TikTok, Instagram, XN, on YouTube at MetalMike714. Don't do much personally there. I was talking to Cam about this earlier. I want to do stuff with my YouTube channel. I've been mentioning this shit for like months now, and I just can't seem to find the right thing to want to post on YouTube as far as content. I want to do video game content. I do, but I'm kind of like in that realm of debate on what I want to focus on. You know, so I'm still kind of battling that in my head. As far as, like Cam said, Monday nights here, after Monday Night Raw for the table spot, over on the Boom on Wednesday nights. And then, of course, the Huddle Hub podcast live every Tuesday night right now at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Me and John are previewing each college football conference leading up to the 2026 college football season. Last week, John had to take the week off because of his work schedule. Things got a little held up. So we did not preview the MAC and Mountain West Conference last week. We will be doing that this week, along with the Independence Conference, I believe. And then Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with myself during the offseason, talk about all the offseason stuff. And then Cam joining me when the season kicks off in the beginning of September. So Hall of Fame game on Thursday night, Cam. Panthers and Cardinals, and the quarterback for the Panthers is Kenny Pickett. He's going to be the starting quarterback on Thursday night. Nice. So I'm excited for the Hall of Fame game. I know it's a preseason, non-meaningful game, but I'm still excited for it. It's football, man. Got to be excited for something. But thank you, everybody, for joining us. Be good to each other. Be kind to each other. Take care of each other. Be patient with each other. Remember, the world is not moving as fast as you think. We'll see you guys Wednesday night for the Boom. Until then, have a great night, everybody. Deuces.